Hello everyone. I did an entire story yesterday and none of it recorded. How you like that? I had gotten out the word cards and the letter cards. And none of it recorded. So I went ahead and went about my day. Have to say I did not make as much money at work this last week until I sprayed the Bible that was gifted to me that I have in my car with holy water, and then all of a sudden things turned around. Go figure. Be mindful of gifts from people, even if they are seemingly well-intentioned. I'm back to drinking out of my Holy Grounds cup. I wasn't doing that last week either. I don't know what's going on with folks. But as I say, every single time, it's not my business. That's between them and the Most High. Okay, let's see what we got going on today. I got a mess on the table, I know. I'm going to turn some more light on so we can actually see the cards, maybe. Hey, Google, can you turn the music off? Hey, Google, can you turn the music off? I don't know why. If I just touch it a little bit, it will turn on. It's so weird. Okay, so are we wanting to do these cards that are on the table? Because I already shuffled through them trying to look for cards to color in. Something about a leopard can't change their spots. They're trying to clean it. Somebody's bitter. They've hit rock bottom. They're really kind of looking at themselves and what they believe in. Someone's got to ride to the schoolyard. Their emotions are kind of eroding the scene. We've got an undercover person taking a gamble. The chivalry coming in. I usually put the cards down like this. I pull them out however they fall out. They'll be in a container, and wherever they tend to fall is where I'll grab them and be the next group. So that's why there's so many of them right here in different stack points. Hope everyone's day is going well and they had a great week so far. If anyone else has had any anything going on, definitely put it down in the comments so everyone can kind of share where they're at. I'm hoping my situation is back to normal. Whoopsie. What's that one? Battleships not wanting to go in. Battleship wanted to stay out. Somebody wanted to keep the battle going. Not in this camp. I'm a lover, not a fighter. Don't get me wrong. If I have to, I will. But most likely, I let the Most High handle it and take care of it. Because I know the promise was that I was able to live in peace. The intention of earth was to have it to be a Garden of Eden on earth. That was the intent. And it's up to us to make it so. Garden of Eden doesn't have a fight in it, right? They just have sneaky snakes trying to lure people in with lies. And once you're able to avoid those pitfalls and those snaky snakes, then they know that they can't bother you anymore. And of course, we've got the gardeners, I think, outside. Which two cards are these without sleeves? The seer and the eclipse. I got sleeves trying to get them all covered again. I thought I had them all, but I guess not. All right, folks, let's get to it. We've got the bottom of the deck. We're talking about being lured and tricked, right? Someone's being baited. It's a long walk to the end of the pier. What are they going to try today? What are they going to try? What did they used to say? Don't take any wooden nickels. Don't get duped. We've got the evil eye here. They're still on a tangent, sending negativity your way. The evil eye is a reminder for those people who partake in that kind of behaviors of evilness or judgment or jealousy. And it's a reminder to them to not do things like that, because it does always come back to you. We've got a plane here. Someone's taking a trip overseas, over water. Camera. Documenting this trip, documenting from overseas. There's proof of this. I don't know why I'm thinking about the supposed neighbor who I came across probably a week or so, maybe, no, it was probably longer than that now. And he was standing there in the little greenery area of the complex, right in our little courtyard, facing one of the apartments with his phone in his hand. So mind you, he wasn't on the sidewalk. He was literally in the greenery, standing there with his phone in his hand, as I said, with his back turned towards my direction. And I walk up, because I walk through the courtyard, and all of a sudden he starts looking for his, I don't know, he started calling a name. And for some reason I told him, I said, well, if you screenshot it, then you can always have it for later. I don't know why I even said that to him. But it was clear that he was out there looking for something as soon as I walked up. But before I walked up, he had no concern about whatever it was that he was allegedly looking for. You gotta love it. We've got intentional. Intentional photos. Someone could be trying to take someone's photos to send them overseas. Now that I'm thinking of it, maybe he was taking photos as I was walking up and I didn't notice until I got there, and he turned around to see what he had taken. I don't know. But I know there's like a new kind of scam where people are taking photos and they stick them on the bodies of other people, and then they do the unmentionable just to make money online. Or they take photos of people and they stick them on a dating account and catfish people. Sounds like a lot of work, right? But if they already have an account that they've been using in the works, maybe you were on a dating site and you were on a, you had posted your own pictures. So then, of course, they would already have pictures. So who's to say that they didn't want to keep extending the account out, and since you're not posting pictures anymore or on a dating site for years, they still needed new material. Maybe to prove a story of some sort, to say, well, this individual's on a dating site, or this individual only dates people for whatever reason. I don't know. But I should probably explain this card, right? There's a new style going around, and I did this actually probably about 30 years ago. And I did it at a amusement park because the waistband to my pants was just a little too snug for my comfort. And so I had unbuttoned them and folded them down in the front and made it into a little style. I can't tell you how many people were gawking, is it gawking, and making comments about my pants. Meanwhile, I was just uncomfortable. My stomach was hurting. So I had intentionally done that. But now I'm seeing that it's like quite the fashion trend with people doing this with their pants. I wonder if nowadays it's kind of like that whole, and maybe this is why they were gawking or making comments. Maybe it's kind of the same idea as when guys have their pants, I guess it's sagged. Apparently there's some kind of insinuation to what that means, as far as in the prison system, someone would have their pants sagged, and it just meant that they were, interested. So I wonder if people have it in their minds that perhaps when someone has their pants like this, then that means that they might be interested. Anywho, the word is intentional, and my pants were intentionally like that because my stomach hurt, not because I was asking for trouble. Just saying. You see where assumptions get you? It just clouds your mind and makes it just yuck. Kind of like my voice. We've got a billboard advertisement. Yes. Advertise this person intentionally for whatever reason. Whatever reason. They're trying to bait this person. Salt and pepper shakers. They want to add salt to a wound. They want to season a situation, add a little bit depth of character into a story. Could also be a salt and pepper hair person, so they could be up in age. I just noticed both of these little tops are kind of like slanted down to the right. Every time I see mistakes or little errors in my work, I always think of my old neighbor who had told me once upon a time, there's beauty in imperfection. That's where the beauty lies. The cat's meow, another card about assuming you know what's going on. The cat's meow is the resting bitch face for me. It's like you look at the cat's face and you're kind of like, are you all right? Oh yeah, I'm having a great time. This is just the resting face. You can't help that sometimes. It's also the jealousy card. So we've got the evil eye here and the jealousy card here. There could be somebody who is up in age who is quite jealous, making assumptions about a certain person, and maybe they're putting either their feelings out on display, or they, again, when we were talking about the photos, taking intentional photos of people, putting that out on display, and maybe advertising for someone who might be interested in a certain situation, trying to lure individuals in based on whatever story or narrative they're trying to sell. The first pancake. They've already done this before, and now they're trying to continue the trend. They're trying to improve on the story. Ugh. I mean, there are a lot of young people who could get baited in as far as on dating sites because they have that either a daddy issue, they call it, or a mommy issue. And so they like to just, they're highly attracted to people who are much older than them. Of course, is it a daddy issue or a mommy issue? Does it have to be? It could be the fact that someone just really just loves people. They don't care what age they are. Who knows? We've got a network of people doing this. We've got the Solidus, which is used in web addresses. So this is some kind of company, corporation, or whatnot. Maybe they're trying to gather evidence on someone, trying to portray somebody in a certain way or in a certain light. They could have even just said this person's doing nothing but traveling, and that's their whole intent of doing whatever it is that they're doing. Maybe they lure people into traveling. This company could be trying something again. We've got pushed out, being displaced. They've probably already displaced a person once. They've already put somebody out of their company once. Considering they probably have multiple companies, they're trying to keep them out of any of the companies that they own. Displaced love. They're trying to say this person's love is displaced. Is it that old adage about pushing people away? You don't want them to love you. We've got a shark. Look at the shark wants that worm. The shark will have no issue taking that worm. The astronaut. So many stories about astronauts when they go out into the field, let's say, and they're on a trip and they are in the atmosphere and they see the earth and something comes over them. It's almost like it wakes them up to the fact that they are really just a little tiny speck on a huge surface. I've even heard one story, I guess it's not heard because I read it, where the astronaut had said, I had never felt such connectedness in such a vast and lonely place. Maybe there's a shark who's changing its tune, getting a wider perspective on things, waking up to the fact that it's not what they want. Sometimes people can get just so hyper focused on whatever it is that they're trying to accomplish, whatever that may be. And sometimes people will continue to go on this focus even when they've actually lost the reasoning for why they're doing it. And it's just part of who they are. I know I had done a video the other night where there was just a situation that was just like, wow, really? Like, how could that happen? Well, when you're up in age, I guess it happens. Anywho, I reflect back on the fact that no matter what was going on around me or what I was dealing with, I was going to make the delivery happen. Until all of a sudden it just hit me. What are you doing? Yes, the delivery is important and whatever it is that they need or they're asking for or they're ordering is important and they should get it. But you know what? You need to take care of you right now and you need to let this order go so someone else can go ahead and take it. Because there is another person out there that will take this order and will get it to where it needs to go. Just saying. So someone could have some kind of pot of gold, higher perspective on this pot of gold that someone is clearly jealous about. Now, a pot of gold doesn't have to be finances like money. It could be any kind of pot of gold that someone could be coveting and trying to be jealous about. They could have made some kind of assumptions about the pot of gold, how it got there, why it got there, what this person did for it. The fun house. I hope we're still on. We've got the fun house, a distorted view of things. It's a big dog seeing itself as a little dog or vice versa. The fun house is also a nice way to call someplace a brothel. So someone could have assumed or said that this person was doing those kinds of things in order to get this or obtain this reward or money or whatnot. Going back to that intentional card and what we were saying there. Maybe they're going to try with the story once again. Hi, Mr. Hyde. How are you? Coming in with this Mr. Nice Guy. Let's have a nice guy come in and let's have them say that, yes, this is true. This is what has happened. Maybe this guy will be very conservative and he'll say, yeah, I met this person. Yeah, they solicited me. They catfished me online. They asked for money, blah, blah, blah. And maybe it has your photo all over it. And it was people who were, you know, taking your photo and attaching it to an account somewhere. And I only say that because I had a dating account and I had people treating me kind of weird, and they had informed me that there was another account somewhere. So I pretty much just gave up on the whole dating site thing, which is unfortunate because I had done that back in the day when they were having dating accounts where you could just call and leave a message because you liked what they said. That was back in the day. And when the whole thing was new, there was quality people on there because only quality people would kind of like go to the lengths of trying to find someone to date. I guess like-minded people were doing it, but now it's just a drop in the haystack. Everyone does it. So they were trying to say this person's love was misplaced, I guess. Maybe they were trying to say that this person was using love, I guess, in order to get the funds, and maybe some funds were left, and someone's trying to say this person was just a brothel worker. They don't deserve the funds. And they're going to have some kind of Mr. Hyde witness come on in and say, oh, yes, this is true. Forcing to be quiet, and someone is just burnt out. All right, so maybe there's a character witness on your behalf that's not allowed to say anything. Burnt. They feel like they were burnt by the situation. This nice guy, but why can't he say anything? Someone's being forced not to say anything, and they've been burnt by the whole situation. So I'm saying that they're the collective or the victim in the situation. One more for this row. Materialistic. This person's burnt out and materialistic. That's all they want is the money. They don't love anybody. Same song and dance, folks, right? Let me move it right along. We've got the mullet, a party in the back and all business in the front. Maybe they're saying someone comes across that way. Love me not. They put people in a place of wonder. Just for the record, folks, if you've got to ask the question, you've got your answer. My mom used to say that to me all the time. If you've got to ask, you've got the answer. If you're wondering if they love you or not, then there's your answer. Either they really don't love you, or you don't really love yourself. You got to consider that. This little game of love me not, tearing up flowers, that's kind of nice. Sarcastically, of course. Comes from the French. I guess it was something that originated in France. And quite honestly, it does signify the fact that someone is a little insecure. Again, if you have to ask, there's your answer. We've got lost and found. Maybe someone was lost in the whole situation when they created this whole scenario. Maybe someone met someone and they seemed like it was like a good thing, but they were trying to say this person only parties it up. They're only materialistic. Hammer. Maybe this person, after all these things were said, look at the underneath the money. Oh, no, it's not. Lost and found is coming into the money. The hammering is coming in underneath the funhouse, folks. The distorted view. We've got fishing. Here we're fishing and the worm now. Golly, folks, what a mess. Don't you ever wonder, it's like, why do things work one day, then the next day they're just not? We've got the fishing. Mr. Hyde. Mr. Hyde is fishing for some kind of information. So if you're having conversations with people and they seem like they're just fishing for information, like last night I had a pickup one place. No, it was 3 different situations where they seemed like they were fishing for information. One was about my phone. They wanted to know exactly what series the phone was and what, how it has a number, what number it was. They were kind of fishing there. Oh, is that like a 6 or a 7? And I'm like, oh no, it's not. So that was one time. And the other time there was someone who was asking me questions on if this was the only gig app that I was working on. And then the third stop was, is this the only job that you have? Have kids. I've got gray hair, folks. Just saying. Not to say because I have gray hair means that I have kids, but if I have a lot of gray hair, then why in the world would my kids even be an equation in anything? Is all I'm saying. So there's some kind of backward situation going on for sure. Fishing for information while you're working. Do you love me, love me not? Someone's lost and found. Maybe they're wondering why this person isn't the way that they used to be. Maybe someone lost themselves and now they found themselves, considering it's underneath the astronaut card. Psychedelics, the mushroom. Mushrooms are a good bacteria that eat away at the bad bacteria in your body in case you're wanting to get the supplements. Mind you, do your research. I'm not a nutritionalist. I'm not a doctor. I'm not licensed. Do your own research. Use your own discernment on everything that you hear, watch, and listen to or read. You have to see what works for you. How does it counteract, the pros and the cons, things of that nature. Now, mushrooms, they spread like wildfire if you don't take care of them in the beginning, and there are some mushrooms that are very poisonous for animals, just like a lot of things. They're fishing for information, and they're going to spread it far and wide, using many different purposes and reasons. There are mushrooms, as I said, as psychedelics that people take, and because they want to take their mind on a different place. I've never partook in that. There's also the mushrooms, as I said, the good bacteria, bad bacteria. That's a supplemental form. Apparently, certain mushrooms have been found to get rid of certain cancer cells. I think there was 5 or 6 different cancers that were listed. Mind you, they're also saying that a lot of cancer cells are actually encapsulated parasite egg sacs. So there's that. So when you get a biopsy, it breaks open the egg sac, and then of course, then it spreads. Again, these are just things that I've come across. There's the mushrooms that grow outside in the garden. Those are the ones that are poisonous to animals. What other kind of mushrooms are there? Why do I feel like I'm missing out on some? Anywho, different purposes. Maybe this whole thing is a burnt process. Displacing someone is ran out. Someone can't really talk about the fact that they've been trying to displace somebody and their love. Trying to make people appear to be something that they're not. We have a visitor coming in. An apple with an offer. Mind you, what I told you about those offers, folks. Someone gave me a Bible and my finances went down the drain. So I sprayed it with holy water and it turned my day around. Just saying. It's just so weird. It's just bizarre. It really is, because that was the only thing. Whatever. We've got a tractor here. Someone trying to dig up the soil. Could have something to do with the Midwest or some kind of farmland. Oh no, she said it. She said farmland, folks. Yeah, it could be farmland. I know that my family was deeply connected to farmland down in the Midwest area. And my grandfather actually had designed the grain storage bins that are out there. That was his creation. I don't know obviously there must be other companies that are now doing that, because it's like, why would someone just let someone have one idea and hold on to it? But yeah, that was my grandfather's doing. He had actually started off at a John Deere tractor store when he came up with that idea. So there's that. Hamburger, you can have it your way. Or we've got something stacked. Maybe the finances became stacked since things under the pot of gold. Lost and found. Now you can have it your way. Maybe you're ordering something up. We've got unbothered here with the hawk and the birds. The birds are attacking the hawk and the hawk. Have you ever seen that happen? The hawk just sits there and all these crows just come around and just start pecking at it, and it just sits there like, okay, do your thing. When you're done, right, I'll wait. Not a problem. I have noticed the last few days, though, not last few days, but last few weeks and months, it's like I used to see hawks facing this direction towards me, and now I've been seeing them turn the other way when I'm driving under them. It's the weirdest thing. So someone could seriously be trying to try to distract you. They're trying to poke at you, pick at you when it has to do with your work. We've got the crows. Isn't that interesting? Crows will, for 17 generations, they did a study, 17 generations of crows are all passed down the same information about a person, whether they're a nice person, whatever their interaction was with that person. If someone's not very nice, then the crow will tell their crow offspring about it and all of their friends and stuff. And I had wondered, I wonder how come it's 17 years, what happens after the 18th year. And in my mind, I'm thinking, well, maybe that amount of time. So it's like there's no story to be told because the person's not there anymore. I don't know. I didn't read the entire study of how that happens because it didn't give, I mean, I read it, but I didn't see any information about why it stops at year 18. That's just my 2 cents. Maybe someone's unbothered now at what's being told, or someone has to eat crow because someone is unbothered, because they're just going to have things their way. The pot of gold have it their own way because they're protected. We've got the red bracelet. They're protected in all of this. They're protected in what was been spread around. They're protected in everything just because of how they take care of themselves. The visitor wants to come in and make up. The visitor wants to come in and live in peace. I'm sorry that we said that you were materialistic and that you were just conning people for money. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that we said that you slept with the man who's deceased, who left you an inheritance, and we didn't give it to you because we thought maybe we deserved it more than you. I'm sorry that we thought that maybe you came from an entitled background and that maybe you didn't deserve it and you never had to work hard in your life. I'm sorry that we didn't take it into consideration that you raised 2 kids on your own without any child support from anybody. And you went through school and got a degree. I'm sorry, we didn't know that part. Uh-huh. Give them grace, folks. Give them grace. It's not their fault that they're like that, right? Maybe this was the exact situation that's going to cause them to evolve as people. And maybe they'll end up being able to share the information and knowledge with other people. Like, maybe you shouldn't do that because you don't really know what their story is. Wouldn't that be something? We've got a puffer fish. Pass it around. Puffer fish are really cute, right? Until you piss them off and all of a sudden they just puff up. They seem harmless on the outside, right? But then it's like you start messing with them. And if it's not prepared correctly, that's going to make someone super sick. Keep digging up dirt, folks. Keep it up. Because the people that are covered, where's that card? Was that in our Mr. Hyde? I think that was in our pre-shuffle. That the people are covered by the Most High. They don't have to lift a finger. They don't have to have a care in the world. Oh. They don't have to have a care in the world, folks. They just have to live life and everything's taken care of for them as far as any of these kinds of situations that happen. There could be a person here, a visitor who is here to be able to protect somebody on the physical world. We've got Cupid here. This protector could end up falling in love with this individual. We've got a lizard with the tail being to the side. It's not drawn yet. Cupid is regenerating the love in this person's heart. Oh, I just saw something I needed to do with that light post. The love is coming back. Whatever love was discombobulated, whatever somebody tried to tell somebody about somebody's love being displaced, it's coming back to this person now. And they're like, oh, you mean they weren't just loving me because they were materialistic and they just wanted my money, like you said? Oh, they didn't just love me because they just wanted to party hardy and they were just acting like they were a conservative person. Oh, they didn't just love me because it meant that they weren't going to have to work for the rest of their life. You mean they don't just love me because maybe they want to just do psychedelics with me all day? Oh, they weren't just making up the fact that they actually truly loved me. So all those things that you said and all those accounts that you made and all the emails that you have back and forth, that wasn't even them on those accounts? Those were fake accounts showed me to tell me or make it appear like this person was just out there with everybody. Oh, I see. But the fact that this person, regardless of how things were stacked up against them, they were unbothered by everything that was. I see. And they just continued on in their life. I see. We've got the broom trying to sweep something up, trying to clean up a situation. Let's get the crumbs off the floor. We don't want a trail of evidence. We've got a ram here, which could also be the Aries card. Perhaps Aries was the cause of all of this. Really trying to push the agenda. Or it could be the Aries that's in protection mode, considering it's underneath the protection card. I mean, the ram will defend its little flock against predators. We've got an Earth Angel here, also the Virgo card, and the card of stability. Angelic protection, a sturdy foundation. Hey, Google, can you tell me what the Fourth Amendment is?
The Fourth Amendment is part of the U.S. Bill of Rights and protects people from unreasonable searches and seizures by the. It generally requires law enforcement to obtain a warrant based on probable cause that particularly describes the place to be searched and the items or people to be seized.
So there's that. It was, in case you didn't hear, it is about search and seizure, needing to have the probable cause, and it needs to explain exactly what it is they're searching for and where they're going to search for it. Know your rights, folks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, all of these cards are around this hammer card, which is just repetition of work. using this tool, hitting the nail on the head, even though I don't see the attachment card or the nails. But all this stuff is going around because of somebody's work environment. And then we've got the Earth Angel here, angel protection. Doesn't matter what's being said, what's being advertised. This person is protected from all of that in the end, even though it was just a mayhem in the process. We've got the love card and then the grace card here, and from corner to corner. That's where, I'm not trying to tell you where to be, but just like the astronaut, having grace for others, even though they don't ask for forgiveness, and forgiving them anyway, that does justice for your heart. That frees you from the situation and those people. It disconnects you from their energy. If you hold on to the mayhem or the hurt or the everything that goes on with whatever it is that they were doing, if you hold on to that, it keeps you connected to them. It keeps you connected to that energy of it, in which that you can't heal, you can't move on. It's going to stick with you. It becomes a part of the fabric of your life. So when you're able to forgive, or you're wanting to forgive, or you're able to disconnect from those people and what they've done, it does not stay within your mind anymore. You release it and let it go. They're not living rent-free in your mind. You're not giving them space in your world. Their energy can no longer harm your energy. When I was speaking earlier about the Bible that I was given, at the time when the person gave me the Bible, I was thinking, I have like, I mean, most people, I'd say, I have at least 4 or 5 Bibles that I collected over the years, from either making the purchase myself or people giving them to me. And then in this particular Bible, when he was trying to give it to me, part of me was just like, no, don't take that. But then part of me was like, well, go ahead, take it. Maybe you can have it in the car and then you can read it in between stops. And I'm thinking maybe that's the part that I need to kind of rededicate myself to, because I have Bibles that are highlighted from, beginning to end. And as I said earlier, it seems that when I put the Bible in my car, all of a sudden I wasn't making as much money anymore. And people will use anything to pass around spell work, even Bibles. I noticed that the front part of the Bible seemed somewhat distressed and worn. And so when you get a sense or a feeling or an intuition hit or something, and I never like to even say that even happens, because it seems so woo-woo to me. Oh, you just know that. Well, I don't know how I know that, but I knew it because whatever the reason is. So the holy water, and then all of a sudden, affairs got better. Things turned around. Things got back to normal again. So my intuition was, don't take the gift, even though it seems like a harmless gift. Like, who would do that? Well, people do it. They come across as Mr. Hyde, and they're really just Dr. Jekyll behind it. You don't know what their reasoning is. I've always been very trusting to people, and I've always been kind of sure that there were bad things in the world until, when was that? Had the person that was out here and harming others, targeting people in yellow houses, who was captured in Los Angeles County. I didn't realize those kinds of things happened until that happened and I came back from a trip visiting family, of which I don't recall part of that trip. So I was a bit sheltered as far as that kind of stuff. I was kind of sheltered in the fact that people are not nice, even though my sister was, a little explosive at times. So then you go into your dating life and you're thinking, well, people just, love is love. And you realize that there are some people in love that will try to lure you into being or doing the things that maybe you wouldn't have ordinarily had done had you been educated on how people are and what they might do or say. I mean, I was at a friend's house when I was a teen, and there were situations there that you're woken up in the middle of the night and you're wondering what the heck is happening right now. This is my friend's uncle. What's going on? So there's times when you feel like you're safe and there's nothing, not a care in the world, and you're realizing, well, maybe I should have been more concerned. So my point is in all of those things that could happen, it's like if you hold on to the pain behind it, it just kind of keeps you connected to that person and the experience. So you give grace, you forgive those people, even though they've never asked for forgiveness. It certainly frees you up so that way your heart can be light again. And that was the intended thing for us to be, is in a place of lightheartedness, a place of love, and ultimately one big happy family is the goal. But we'll not get there if people keep hanging on. Of others, of maybe situations where they just were not educated. They didn't know it was not okay to cross boundaries like that. Who knows? We have this face here, right? This assumption, these assumptions that are made. We don't know where these people come from or what they learn or, what they think is okay. Because it could have been how they were brought up. Or maybe they weren't even told anything, like I wasn't told anything about anything growing up. Other, if you have to ask, you have your answer. So just as the same is true, if I was sheltered in that way, other people can be sheltered in other ways too. Not getting that education. So when we come at a place with compassion and not just demanding things to have it the way you want it to be and, having it be made to order, you can have a different perspective on things. I think I found the cards again. Eclipse. There's another one. Copycat. I didn't know I had 2 copycat cards in here either, which I thought was pretty funny. Copycat, copycat. Maybe I should leave them both in there. Since it's 2 and they're trying to copy each other. I don't know, folks. But I do hope something wonderful happens for you today. And I hope that you're able to see the wonderful parts of the day, because it's up to you to see it. Or to make it a great day, that's up to you. Oh, we didn't even do like an outcome cards. We've got dress up, straight, sunny side egg, the traffic cone, Manicore, which is a terrifying beast, baseless, alphabet. So dressing up, getting ready for the occasion, putting on their best outfit, trying to make themselves appear dignified. Getting dressed up straight into the frying pan, cracking an egg. We've got the traffic cone trying to direct traffic, trying to reserve a spot, trying to forewarn, give boundaries to this manicore, which is a terrifying beast, is baseless. They had no right saying that this person was a bad person. They had no right to maybe even call in this type of behavior. These people literally put someone in a frying pan for no reason. Maybe they didn't follow the policy. Maybe they didn't follow the rules. Considering the Fourth Amendment here, maybe they did things without proper authority to do so. Their claims were baseless. With the alphabet card, it could be something very basic. Maybe it was very obvious. Maybe it was elementary. Maybe it could have been stemming from a person in your elementary school. Who's to say? Maybe someone's going to get a visit from someone who is in one of the alphabet groups. It did fall between the love card and the visitor card, so maybe this person is actually really has a what's the word? Not endure. I don't know what the word is, but they care about the person. Maybe through all the investigating that they've done on this person, they actually care about the person. And maybe they'll be the visitor and they'll have a stable foundation together. I don't know. Final card is holding an empty bag with the bench. And are you hearing me? This is old news. Time to celebrate. Having your cake and eating it too. It's not a party. I mean, it's not a birthday. There's no candles. They've got mold on their cake. And that's going to be quite obvious. It's going to come out of nowhere. And maybe you'll need sunglasses for paparazzi. They're trying to hide the fact. That they love you and they're your power source. Maybe in a month's time. All right, guys, I'm looking through all the cards. Trying to find more to put sleeves on. With that being said, you guys, make it a great day. Thanks for being here. Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here. Take care.